on the GCN Radio Network.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. We are now an hour and 8 minutes into the second hour of this Friday edition. And, of course, we're going to have Ted Nugent coming up, joining us here in about 25 minutes from now to talk about a host of issues. Ted Nugent, frequent guest over the years, always informative and interesting. So that is coming up. I shot a video last night as I left the office at about 6:30 because I was in the coffee room and we had television news on, and they were talking about LeBron James, the decision is going to be at 9 o'clock Eastern. Tune into ESPN. We're all going to find out the decision. And I remember 3 weeks ago, up in his home city, where the Cavaliers were based, that up to 4,000 people showed up at an event, and they were at this event, and it was a LeBron James appreciation meeting at the local convention center, and they were literally singing songs to him, worshiping him, and he wasn't even going to show up. So the team called him and said, you better get here. So he showed up, even though he knew it was coming up in the last 10 minutes, was non-committal. He can go to Florida, one of the few states that doesn't have a state income tax, with a close to $100 million contract. What do you expect him to do? I put a video out saying, look, he is going to go to the Heat, and this is all a distraction, all a diversion from real issues. And the Drudge Report and others linked to it, and that video is now extremely viral. But in the video, I didn't make really the central point. How pathetic is this that you can't get these people to become angry? You can't get these 4,000 people in the city where his team was based in Ohio to go and protest the fact that Ohio is one of the 46 states listed by the feds, and Bloomberg is on the verge of total bankruptcy and collapse. I mean, I've seen articles in Ohio where more than half of the sheriff's deputies in major departments are being laid off, and where sheriffs are saying, buy guns, we can't protect you. I mean, it's collapsing like Mexico or something. You can't get 4,000 people out to protest government takeover of health care or anti-gun laws in that state. And it's the same thing all over the country. But the media feeds into this, the mainstream media, and promotes some overpaid person that at the end of the day just does not matter, like LeBron James. Our country is going into a depression. Our country is on the verge of World War III that could quite possibly be triggered with an attack on Iran. They're openly announcing the end of the dollar. They're openly announcing that they want to devalue our currency and go to this global currency, the SDR, backed up by a basket of currencies, and we will pay taxes on all of the activities that we're involved in to this global offshore system. Carbon taxes paid to the very same private banks that have bankrupted our economy by creating $600 trillion, in the words of the Washington Post, of counterfeit, derivative, made-up financial instruments that they use to buy off media, sports teams, government, factories. Globalism, NAFTA and GATT is treason. It is the overthrow of our country. And I saw some of the comments. Most of the comments, I'd say running 9 out of 10, were supporting me, pointing out this is bread and circus, the fall of Rome, a political distraction. But some were like, I just love LeBron. He makes me feel good about myself and proud of my city, proud of my state. How dare you? Look, all I'm saying is you got your priorities screwed up. And there's a reason this country's going bankrupt. There's a reason crooked politicians are running wild, because people don't know who their state rep is. They don't know who their federal rep is. They don't know who their senator is. They don't know who their mayor is. I mean, take Austin, Texas. It is a federal violation of law and state law to put a toll road on an existing road. The second most busy road in Texas is Mopac. And and they'll never expand the lanes, even though they have room. They'll never put a double-decker in the last 30 years. They proposed 5 years ago, 3 years ago, and 2 years ago as part of the NAPA Superhighway to put a toll road on it and shut 2 of the 3 lanes and make them toll road where you've got to pay. How are people going to get off? But that's not the issue. The issue here is that when we created opposition to the toll road, they backed off and said, we're not going to do it now. Then they came back a few years later and said, we're going to do it. We said no, and they said, we never said we were going to do it. Now they've announced they're going to do it, whether we like it or not. And it's about money. It's not about fixing traffic. It's going to make it worse. We know in every study it does. Now, could we get the 100,000 UT fans that go worship the UT football team, 100,000 people to City Hall of the million people that live Metro to stop this taking over of 183 Mopac and every other major road they're going to put toll roads on, $5 each way on each road, screwing up the traffic when we paid for these roads with tax money and the money's going to offshore private toll road corporations that are taking over our nation? That's globalism. That's high treason. This is tyranny. Let's go ahead and go to this video that we shot that's gone viral, where I break down the facts. And the headline is, as the United States collapses, media worships LeBron James. Decide what you want, a future or to worship stupid fake icons. Here it is. Societies don't change. Whether it was the Roman Empire or Nazi Germany, the population is obsessed with sports and petty celebrities. And the United States is no different. MSNBC, the New York Times, they're all reporting that we are going into a depression, one of the greatest depressions in world history. And our decadent, slob-like public, and that's not everyone, but large percentages of the public, could care less. They're not involved in their communities. We've got 46 states on the verge of bankruptcy. The government's raising taxes on every level. The border with Mexico is collapsing. Mexico has collapsed. And the public doesn't care because the media has set the agenda. And they tell you to care about LeBron James and his decision. And he's playing into it and is going to announce his stupid decision. It doesn't matter what basketball team he goes to. This is a distraction by design. We have the governor of the state he's currently living in a bizarre "We Are LeBron, We Are the World" literal worship fest with hundreds of celebrities. This is sickening.
We really need you. No bigger heart is gonna love you.
Imagine the Ohio governor begging and pleading on television and serenading LeBron James with hundreds of other celebrities when Ohio is one of the states slated to go completely bankrupt. We're going into a depression. They're about to launch World War III with Iran openly. Fox News is reporting as if it's a good thing in New York State and Illinois that troops have helped arrest thousands of citizens and are doing gun sweeps in people's homes and searching people's cars. We're going in to martial law. Offshore banks have overthrown the U.S. They've stolen tens of trillions of dollars, like we're some third world country they're looting. Everything's going to hell in a handbasket. So if you want to know why your children have no future, if you want to know why you're bankrupt, if you want to know why you're in debt, if you want to know why you have no future and have lost your job or are getting your pay cut, it's because your priorities are wrong. It's because you let that idiot box, the television, program you since the days that your mother and father set you in front of the TV for 12 hours a day in your crap-filled diapers. It's not too late to admit we're a sick, decadent, degenerate society crumbling. We are Rome. It's 410. We're about to collapse, ladies and gentlemen. I know you won't know. You know about LeBron James. You don't know 410 is when Rome completely fell to Alaric, the Visigoth leader. You better learn history. This is dangerous. Don't say you weren't warned. The globalist engineers, the globalist social engineers look at you and how pathetic you are and how the whole world is waiting to see where LeBron James goes. The social controllers look at you and see how you're obsessed with LeBron James. And they decide, we got a bunch of schmucks. We've got a bunch of idiots. We got a bunch of morons right where we want them. Let's destroy their society. Let's loot it. Let's pass carbon taxes. Let's expand NAFTA and GATT. Let's announce an end to the dollar as the global reserve currency. Do you know what that means? We've already lost almost all our industry. We're already in a depression. When they get rid of the dollar as the world reserve currency, your life as you know it is officially over. You're going to be a third world slave like they are in Mexico or Nigeria. And you know what? Those people down there at least know why they're slaves. You are so stupid and so focused on crap, you'll probably still be talking about Lindsay Lohan when you're living as a homeless person on the street. My friends, we've got to set our priorities and set them now. Liberty or tyranny. You've got to wake up and decide what is important to you. Saving our republic, stopping the globalist takeover, or knowing all the mindless trivia about LeBron James and Lindsay Lohan. There isn't much more time. I'm begging you to ask yourselves to look in the mirror and really realize how sick this is. It's not bad to like a basketball game, but it is mentally ill and sick to buy into this manufactured hype and to have government officials that should be working for the people. We're going to come back and finish the last minute or two of this in the next segment. But why does the Bible talk about have no gods before me? Well, you got the God who's telling you don't